Hi everyone, I'm Pierre from Railway. Today, I want to share with you some exciting news that's going to change the way you scale your deployments. Let's dive into it. Until now, on Railway, you could deploy a single replica of your services and let it handle your traffic and workload. However, vertical scaling has its limits. Cramming more specs into a single machine makes it costly and just cannot handle your massive user growth. Horizontal scaling, that is, distributing workloads across multiple machines, is where you really want to be for robust, scalable cloud production. Now, if you wanted load balancing before on Railway, you'd have to do it all yourself, replicating your services manually, which can be a chore, setting up a separate service in front, implementing the logic to distribute the traffic, the whole shebang. Time-consuming and quite error-prone. But no more. Today, we are thrilled to announce horizontal scaling with up to 50 replicas per service. This means you can now take advantage of automatic load balancing, easily managing high query volumes. In true Railway spirit, it is as simple as turning the replicas knob. Just select the number of replicas you want for your service, and there you go. And it works both over the internet and over your private network, so you can choose the best communication pattern for your services. Fault tolerance is another scenario unlocked by this. If one of your replica is down, traffic will automatically be rerouted to another healthy replica. And that's not all. Horizontal scaling opens the door to distributed computing. Your workers can simply be multiple replicas of a single service. Think of frameworks like Temporal, Apache Spark, you name it. Now, let's see this in action with a fun little demo involving, you guessed it, trains. Here we are on the canvas of our demo project. It has a front-end and a back-end service, and both of them are using a single replica at the moment. Let's move on to the front-end to see what it's all about. In this demo, you can think of your replicas as rail tracks on which we will trigger a bunch of trains. You can see we currently have a single track corresponding to our single replica. When I push this button over here, a train gets triggered on the track, and the train's position and speed are managed by the corresponding replica and communicated back via WebSocket. Now, if I do it slowly enough, we should see no congestion. That is, each train will reach its maximum velocity. However, if I start triggering more trains, let's see. We see traffic jams. And that is what happens when more and more users sign up and use your service, latency. That's the cost of success. What can we do about it? Well, let's increase the number of replicas and see the magic happen. So let's go back to the canvas. Okay, let's open our backend service, its settings, and let's find the replica knob, which is right here. Let's change it to 6. What will happen now is that Railway will redeploy our backend with 6 replicas and take care of all the networking and load balancing for us. While this is happening, let's go back to the front end and explain a bit more the analogy. We can think of each track as a job queue, and each train is actually a processing job. So if we see a traffic jam, it's analogous to a CPU-bound task in a typical workflow. And the speedometer is kind of a system throughput monitor. Now, let's wait for the new tracks to appear. Okay, so now we have 6 tracks and we can start triggering more trains. If I trigger a single one, it will be routed to a random track, that is, a random replica, through load balancing. So let's just trigger a few to see what happens. And it does exactly what we want. And we should be able to achieve much higher throughput. We can also simulate downtime from one or more replicas, so let's break some tracks. Here we go, some damage over here. Now when I trigger more trains, they will automatically be routed to healthy replicas. And that is what it's all about, load balancing and fault tolerance. And remember, all we had to do to achieve this is turn a simple knob. So there you have it. We went from a single replica to multiple replicas with automatic load balancing and fault tolerance, and all of that with a very simple setting. And in the process, we got to play with trains. Horizontal scaling unlocks a multitude of new possibilities on Railway. And we're not stopping here. In the pipeline, we have features like auto-scaling. For the impatient though, and if you're tech-savvy, our GraphQL API already lets you build custom autoscalers by manipulating replicas. Thank you for joining me today, and start scaling your projects like never before.